So, very good morning, students. Welcome back, second year physics. And again, I would like to tell you about a Coulomb's inverse square law. In this Coulomb's inverse square law, here it is related to this thing. See, force due to multiple charges, right? Force due to multiple charges. Actually, we know Coulomb's in Coulomb's inverse square law, about a force we know that force is F is equal to, I'll write here, between the two charges, that is F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square, or we can also say instead of this 4 pi epsilon naught k, q1 q2 by r square. This is the force due to Coulomb's inverse square law. But I would like to tell you one thing. Another one is there, that is force due to multiple charges. That means here, if there are number of charges are there, that is force due to multiple charges. Suppose there is a one charge, you say q. See, and here another charge is placed at a distance of r1. This is q1, and there is a force between the q and q1 is, you say F1 is acting. It may be either a force of attraction or it is maybe force of repulsion. It may be attraction or it may be repulsion. It may be repulsion. Right here, it is a force due to between the two charges. It is F1 is acting. Either maybe it is a force of attraction or it is maybe force of repulsion. And let us you take another charge, that is q2 charge. There will be a distance is r2, and there is a force of acting between the two charges is F2. Either maybe it is a force of attraction or maybe a repulsion. And you take another charge q3, which is placed at a distance is r3, and there may be a force is, it is a 3 F3. Like here, n number of charges are placed. It is a q4 and it is a F5 and it is a F4 and so on. There are n number charges are simultaneously impressed. Forces are acting, that is we can say it is a force due to multiple charges. We can also call principle of superposition. In the previous chapter also I told you very clear about a principle of superposition. It's nothing but a what? If there are a number of forces are acting simultaneously at a one point. You look at here, F1 is acting at this point. You say it is a point O, and F2 also acting, F3 also acting, F4, F5, F6 and so on simultaneously acting at a one point O. Therefore, at that point we will get the resultant force. The resultant is represented as, we can say Fn, or net force we can say F1 plus, F2 plus, F3 plus and so on it is. This we can say principle of superposition, because there is a force is acting simultaneously at a point O. See, force due to individual charges are acting. So that here we should add all forces which are acting at a point O. This we can say net force or resultant force. Now let us you write now. See, due to q1 charge, there will be a force is F1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q by r square or r1 square, because there is a charge is q1 and q. The distance is r1. According to the Coulomb's inverse square law, F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon q1 q2 by r square. So that here F1 is equal to k into q1 q by r1 square. It is due to q1, and in the same way you write due to q2 also. So again F2 is equal to k into q2 q by r2 square. Look at, this is the q2 and there is a distance between the q2 and q is the r2, and therefore F2 force will be k q2 q by r2 square. And you take due to q3, that is F3 is equal to, you say q3 q by r3 square, and so on it is to be acting simultaneously at a point O. And you do one thing, add all this, that gives the resultant, or we can also call it is a net force. It is F1 will be k q1 q by r1 square plus k q2 q by r2 square plus, right, you take here k q3 q by r3 square and plus so on. So F net will be, you take k, q is common, therefore q1 by r1 square plus q2 by r2 square plus q3 by r3 square and so on. This is we can say force due to multiple charges. Of course, we can also say in terms of a vector form. Suppose you want to write in a vector form, there you write a unit vector. At a place of F1, here you write a unit vector, and at a place of F2 also write a unit vector, that is R1 cap and R2 cap, like that. It is a depends. See, if situation demands, then you write here that unit vector. So if not required to write the unit vector, so that it is a force due to multiple charges. Therefore, it is according to the principle of superposition, there is a number of forces are simultaneously acting at a point. Therefore, the resultant force is represented as sum of all forces. Sum of all forces gives a resultant. It is nothing but a principle of superposition. This is force due to multiple charges is the one question. It is for Coulomb's inverse square law. Clear? And let us. And here on this, actually based on the Coulomb's inverse square law, let we have some problems. See, open your materials. In that material, see materials, open your materials, field and a charge. So there is a questions on the basis of this chapter and the basis of a Coulomb's inverse square law. See, first question I'll tell you. Yeah, there is a question, very short answer, page number 106, question number 5. I'll read the question. So the question is given. Question number 5 is, what happens to the force between the two charges if the distance between them is simple? The question will be, it is a very short answer question, VSAQ, right? VSAQ, the page number will be 106, question number will be 5. Again I'll read the question. What happens to the force between two charges if the distance between them is, see, what happens the force is asking. First one, if distance between them is half, you say the distance between them is half is given, that is right, and second is given as the distance between them is doubled, you say like a doubled is given. See, for half what will be the force is asking, for a double what will be the force is asking. So we know according to the Coulomb's inverse square law, K Q1 Q2 by R square. So here you write F directly or inversely proportional to R square. Very simple. You take a first one, here you take as a R1 it is. Clear? You take as an R1, and for this you write like this. For first case, R1 is equal to R by 2, and R is I mean to say this is, you say R2 it is. So R1 is equal to given as R, and here is asking F2 is asking for this case. So that F inversely proportional to R no, in R square no, F1 R1. You take F2 inversely proportional to R2 square. So that F1 by F2 is equal to, you say it is 1 by R1 square by 1 by R2 square. So F1 by F2 is equal to R2 square by R1 square. Is it clear? Now let us, you say here F1 is equal to, suppose you say only F. Here you write F1 is F, is asking F2, R2 square is given as R by 2 whole square by R square it is. So simple, you cancel R square, then F by F2 is equal to 1 by 4, because it is a 2 square no, 2 square is nothing but it is 1 by 4. Therefore F2 is equal to 4F. If it is half, the distance between the two charges is half, therefore the force will be increases by 4 times. And you go for the second one, that is if it is given as R is equal to, or R2 is equal to 2R, and F2 again is asking in the second situation, and R1 you take as R, and F1 is equal to, you take as F. Directly you substitute here, that is F1 by F2 is equal to, it is the R2 square by R1 square. F1 will be F, F2 will be, is asking, and here R2 is nothing but a 2R whole square by R square. So R square is cancelled, then F by F2 is equal to 4. So that F2 is equal to F by 4. This is the question related to the force related to the when the distances are like this is given half and like this the given is double. Therefore, when half is given, that force is increases by 4 times. If distance is double, therefore force is reduces by 4 times. So this is the one question in our material which was given, right? It is given in the page number, that is 106. Suppose you go through that question, and there are other questions also is there on basis of Coulomb's inverse square law. I'll tell you that related to the Coulomb's inverse square law, right? See, before going to that, I'll explain you another concept related to the Coulomb's inverse square law. See, there is a question is asking find a null point. Sir, what is mean by null point? So the null point in the sense is that is nothing but a where the force due to two charges is 0, that we can see net force is 0 at a one point. See here, look at here, this is the concept related to the null point. If there is a two charges Q1 and Q2 which is placed at a distance is r, between the two charges is given distance is r. Suppose force is Q1 and Q2 is there. In between the two charges there will be another charge is placed at a point is, you say, distance between these two charges there is another charge is Q is placed. Therefore, from Q1 this charge is located at distance is x, and from Q2 this charge is located at distance is, you say, r minus x, because total between the Q1 and Q2 distance is r, and in between the two charges there is another charge is placed. The charge is placed from the Q1 is at a distance is x, and from Q2 it is at a distance of r minus x. Now here there is a force is acting due to Q1 and Q2, that you say F1, and there is a force is acting due to Q2 between the Q is F2. Of course, if at one point the force due to two charges, at a one point it is 0. If it is at a one point is 0, that we can say net force is equal to 0. Therefore, F1 plus F2, actually Coulomb's inverse, force due to multiple charges, that will be represented as it is F1 plus F2 is equal to 0. So that here we can take like this, F1 plus F2 is equal to 0, no? Then according to this, we can also say the two forces are equal also we can take. So here you say F1 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q by distance is x square between these two, and you take F2 is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 Q by distance is, you say, r minus x whole square. At this point the forces are equal, because equal and opposite that may be cancelled. At a one point the force due to two charges is 0. The point we can call as the null point, that we can say equal and opposite is cancelled. Therefore, we will get the net resultant is 0 at a one point between the two charges. So that here let us write this forces F1 plus F2, and F1 is equal to F2, it is Q1 Q by x square is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q2 Q by r minus x whole square. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 1 by 4 pi, Q cancel. Q1 by x square is equal to Q2 by r minus x. Here actually we have to find the x value. So where will be the force due to two charges is 0. The point we should find. So that you do one thing, this cross multiply like this. Therefore, r minus x whole square by x square is equal to Q2 by Q1. So here we can also write r minus x by x complete whole square Q2 by Q1. So r by x minus 1 whole square is equal to Q2 by Q1. So here it is the final expression, r by x minus 1 is equal to root over Q2 by Q1, because here square is there, no? Then this square you take this side, it is becomes root. Therefore, r by x is equal to root over Q2 by Q1 plus 1. Minus 1 you take right side, then it is becomes a plus. Is asking x, so simple you cross multiply root over Q2 by Q1 plus 1. This is the null point. At that point, force due to two charges are cancelled, or the force due to two charges is, the force due to two charges is 0. That net resultant force is 0 at a one point between the two charges. The distance is what? This is x is equal to r by root over q2 by q1 plus 1. When the between the two charges it is. Sometimes we may get the outside the charges also. If outside, what happens? It is between the charges, we can say. Suppose I would like to tell you outside if I say outside will be, you take again two charges q1 q2, the distance is r, and if the charge is another charge is placed at a distance is like this at a distance x, and therefore we can say r plus x. Same issue here, we can do the same method. F1 is equal to k q1 q by x square, and k f2 due to second charge k q2 q by the distance will be r plus x whole square. You do k q by x square is equal to k q2 q by r plus x whole square. You cancel k q. So q1 by x square is equal to q2 by r plus x whole square. Of course, you look at here it is q1 by x square is equal to q2 by r minus x square. Here it is there, r plus x is there. Again you do the same cross multiplication like this. So final will get, it is the outside the charges. See, after simplification the null point will be like this. You do like this, r plus x by x, directly I am writing x square, it is q2 by q1, therefore r by x plus 1 whole square is equal to q2 by q1, then r by x plus 1 is equal to root over q2 by q1, and you take a 1 towards the left minus 1, x is equal to r by root over q2 by q1 minus 1. Once you observe both the expressions, if between the charges, the null point is between the charges, that is x is equal to r by root over q2 by q1 plus 1. If it is between the charges, if it is outside the charges, x is equal to r by root over q2 by q1 minus 1. This is the point which we can call null point. Null point is nothing but where the force due to two charges is 0. Force due to two charges is 0. It may be between the charges or it may be outside the charges. If it is between the charges, the point will be x is equal to r by root over q2 by q1. And it is outside the charges, the point will be x is equal to, at a distance x is equal to r by root over q2 by q1 minus 1. Simple. Between plus, it is outside, it is minus. That's all. This is the difference. This is the difference for the null point. If it is between, you say plus. It is outside, you say minus. So this is related to what? For the null point, right? Again we have the null points expression in the next coming classes also, right? You remember this is an expression. Now let us, we'll move to the next one, that is about a problems on the basis of Coulomb's inverse square law. I'll tell you one problem. It is given in our material also. Before that I'll tell you directly question also, no problem. Right? The question will be given like this. If three identical charges, it is a problem, like it is a one example problem. You take one example problem. If three identical charges q, 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 which are placed at the corner of a equilateral triangle. Simple question. Again on the basis of this we have other also, square also is there. So you concentrate the question. Three identical charges which are placed at the corner of a equilateral triangle. Three charges are placed. Equilateral triangle. You take one charge q and another charge q and then one more charge is q, which are placed at the three corners of a equilateral triangle, right? Then find a resultant force at any one of the corner. You find a resultant force at any one of the corner. Any one of the corner. You want to go for this corner? Yes, you do. You want to go for this corner? Yes, you can get. Yes, here also you can take. So that you take any one corner. That's what the question is. If three identical charges which are placed at the corner of equilateral triangle, then find resultant force at any one of the corner, any one. So suppose equilateral, no, you say some distance is r, or else you say a, nothing will happen. So that you take like this. Now therefore, between these two charges, there will be a force is acting like this. Identical, no? So that it may be force will be acting like this. So here it is Q. Between these two, there is a force is, you say F. And here again Q, there will be a force is acting F. So that the two forces are simultaneously acting at a point Q, at a point of this corner, because the force is acting, this force also acting towards a one corner. Or suppose you want to say here, yes, this force is acting toward this and this force will get the same. And here these two are the forces. Force is nothing but a vector. And here there is an angle for the equilateral triangle is 60 degree, for all is 60 degree, because sum of the angles is equal to 180. So when it is 60, no, therefore it is also 60 degree only. For this, the resultant will be represented for these two forces, which is maybe like this, resultant or net force. According to the principle of superposition, sum of all forces gives a single, but it is a vector, no? So that we can take like this, F1 square plus F2 square plus 2F1 F2 cos theta, which is very, very important problem. It is given in the our material as example problem, and in our Telugu Academy also it is given as example problem, right? And here you say F1 is equal to F2 is equal to F, because it is identical charges, no? The force will be, it is equal. Now you substitute here, and angle between the two forces is given as theta is equal to 60 degree. Therefore net will be root over, you say F square plus 2F F cos 60. Here Fr is equal to root over, you write here F square plus F square, 2F square, here 2F square, again cos 60 is nothing but a 1 by 2, then you cancel 2. Then resultant will be root over 2F square plus F square. So resultant will be, we can say 3F square, then Fr is equal to root 3 into F. So what is F? Between the two charges, we can take F is equal to K Q by R square, or F is equal to K Q square by R square, of course. So the resultant force will be Fr is equal to root 3 into K Q square by R square. I think you know K is nothing but a 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Like this the question which is given in our material. I'll tell you the page number, again you see the question also, which is the same question, right? Look at once. Here in this question given, it is given as example. Yeah, look at the page number. Page number will be 102, question number 6. Page number 102, question number 6. So this is the example. Here in this question given, consider three charges Q1, Q2, Q3, each equal to magnitude Q. At the vertices of an equilateral triangle of side is L. What is the force on the charge? Okay, it is given as a centroid. I mean to say it is a sixth question. You see seventh question. I'm very sorry. Seventh question you look at. Seventh is the same page number 102. This explanation related to page number 102, question number 7. Yeah, look at, consider three charges Q, Q, Q and minus Q is placed at the vertices of an equilateral triangle as shown. What is the force on the each charge? Yes, it is also similar question. So you go through this solution for this question. Right here in the same page number there is a question number 1, page number 102, question number 6 is there. Suppose you want to do it that example, otherwise I will also tell you. Clear? Like this we have on the basis of force due to multiple charges. If force due to multiple charges are nothing but we can say according to the principle of superposition. So the principle of superposition already we know. There we should apply a principle of superposition statement that nothing but a what? Here force due to individual charges are acting at a one point simultaneously. Yes, here also force due to this charge is acting F and force due to this charge is acting F. so that at a point this, at a corner this, the sum of these two forces gives a resultant. But these are acting at an angle 60 degree. That's what you apply. Resultant force is equal to root over F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. Here we should use this principle because these two forces are acting at an angle 60 degree, no? According to the question, there we should take a resultant. Suppose if simultaneously acting at a one point all forces, you add only just, if there is no angle, in the question there is a no angle. In the question there is no angle, therefore you directly you take add all forces. Fr is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus so on it is. But in the question it is given these two forces are acting simultaneously and at an angle 60 degree, no? That's what, use this principle. It is a parallelogram law principle. That is a resultant is equal to root over p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. That's what, vectors are very important. I told you in the first year also, vectors are very important. If you go through the vectors very clearly, then it is help you like this. Clear? This is related to what? One problem based on the principle of superposition. Again we have other problems also and we'll continue the next class. In the next class I'll discuss the remaining problems which was given in our material on the basis of a force due to multiple charges and as well as the Coulomb's inverse square law. Right? Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next class.